looking like it is. Let's do that. Okay, we're live. I'm just gonna hold on 1 second. Oh my god, no. Let's go with this. Okay. So, if anyone joins the stream, that's freaking lit, but I doubt it. Okay. So, let's talk about a interesting subject. It is named The Sun Vanished. The sun vanished is exactly what it sounds like. The sun vanished. Imagine one day you walk outside and it's just pitch black. There's weird things floating all over the streets, shining lights out loud. Not out loud, but shining lights. And all this is happening and you don't know what this is. What would you do? Well, you just try to survive. Well, here's my theory on what this all is. It's aliens. Now, people will say, how is it aliens? Well, let me give an example to you. In pop culture, aliens have always been shown to be like hunter-gatherers, like to come down, wipe us all out on foot, rip us to shreds, shoot us, blow us to pieces, but also they die too. They can die in numbers as well. Well, then you start thinking, okay, if they're so intelligent, why would they even die to us? Why? Why would they do it? Well, it's very simple. Because it's pop culture and they want to make it as scary as they possibly can. In normal, or, okay, let's say this. Let me give you this scenario. If you were an alien species and you were coming down to Earth, how would you wipe us out without having to actually use your numbers to kill us? Pause the video and go down in the comments and say how you're going to do it. Or how you would do it. And now I'll say how I would do it after. We'll see if we have the same thing. We'll check the comments and stuff. Well, it's... What are the three... Let's say two for this, and then we'll talk about the third one. What are the two most basic needs of survival for humans? Or pretty much any animals? Food and water. Two basic necessities to keep us alive. Now, let's talk about how they got rid of the food supply. Not once in The Sun Vanished does it ever show food. Okay, there is food, but the actual animals, you never hear animals, and you're saying, okay, then how is that food? Well, if you're a human and your food supply is low, how else are you going to get food? You're going to hunt it. Well, then, how do you keep the food away from us? Oh, you either A, kill it, B, poison them, the poison that only harms us, or 3, kind of abduct them and keep them. Or, do something somewhat like that. Now, that's kind of a little far out, but still, you know what I'm saying. Now, the water. At one point in TSV, he went into a house and the water was darker. In my opinion, I think that's kind of poison. And you're saying, okay, how is that poison? The water was darker than the other. Now, it could be reversed, that the water is supposed to be this dark and this is supposed to be light, but I highly doubt that's the thing. The water there was darker instead of lighter, which is strange. It's strange. So, water, if you were to drink it, it'd probably poison you. Now, what is the poison? Well, who the hell knows? It could be cyanide. It can be something else that we don't even know about. It can be like that. Now, let's talk about heat. Now, you're going to say, okay, that's like when I said two. Um, Heat and clothing and stuff like that is a necessity. Clothing is not a necessity. Heat is, though. You have to have warmth to survive. You cannot survive in a very cold climate with, let's say, no clothes on. Now, this particular case, he has clothes, he has coats and all this. But if he didn't, heat, or it'd be too cold. You can die of hypothermia, or if it's too hot, you can die of heat exhaustion. So, how do you do all this? How do you kill us off with heat? Well, so far we haven't heard a single thing about how houses are working. Well, I'm pretty sure the power's still on, because there's no way in hell he could charge his phone without the power being on. So we're assuming that the power is on. But let's say, and it would actually make sense if the power was on, because he'd be turning off the lights for nothing comes in and looks for him. So how are you going to take the heat away? It makes noise. They're attracted to noise. Now you're saying, what is? So there's these weird little floating robots, or whatever they are, that fly around, and it has strobe lights, red and white, from so far what we know. And they can almost like hypnotize you. Well, when they hypnotize you, they basically, you become what I like to call the Wanderers, kind of like the Walkers from The Walking Dead. I call them the Wanderers. Wanderers they're kind of like observers. Like, it's weird. We don't know what they are yet. Recently in TSV, which I just read, was that their TSV had whatever these things were in his house, and at first they were looking for him, but now when he stands in front of them, they have no response towards them. So they were obviously the effect of whatever the hell happened. Now, the strobe lights obviously hypnotize you, and they're attracted to noise. As you read, they're attracted to noise. So AC makes noise. When it kicks on, it's like, they would hear that. Then you start thinking, okay, what else? Hygiene. So let's say you fall and cut yourself. How are you going to clean the wound? They're attracted to noise. You can't just flip on the sink if one's nearby. It makes sense to say that these are aliens. And then you start questioning, okay, then how is the sun gone? Or why would they block out the sun? What is a human's most basic fear? The dark. The human's most basic fear is the dark. From the moment you were born, you were scared of the dark. Some people may not be, some people are. It's mostly like one of those things where you could be, but you couldn't. If you're scared of the dark, it's a psychological effect, and eventually it will drive you insane. So then I started thinking of why they would do this. Why would they come here? Earth is a perfect habitable planet. Now, if they breathe oxygen, or if they don't breathe oxygen, they're screwed. But it's a perfect habitable planet. Where could they be from? Well, recently, I forgot the name of the star. If I can, I'll post it in the comments if I find it. There's a planet that we thought we could live on, and a star had a solar ray burst, and it completely stripped it of all of its resources, and now we couldn't live on it even if we tried. They came from there. Now, I'm going to wrap this up real quick, but it's just, there's all the evidence that proves that aliens are in the works of this. Now, we are later on to find out, plus the weird floating things. They literally look like an alien craft. Besides the point. I will do more research over this. We will wait for more TSV stuff to come out. But when it does, I will be right back with a brand new video. I'm happy to talk to you guys and actually get this working. So, you guys have a great night.